are the only community college in New Jersey that's implementing this program. There are a lot of confusion here that people think that when we talk about NASA, that means it should be only scientist, mathematician, or engineer. But this is not the reality. The actual reality is completely different. I want you to watch this video, and then I will talk to you about it. Okay, so let's have one now. All right, so the next thing that I want to bring in is like NASA. Can you please? Yes. I'm sorry. Seriously, whatever they're saying, we need you guys. And there was a controversy that it's only supposed to be like the science major or like in engineering that they are going to be involved in this type of program, but this is not the case because as we mentioned before, we are going to, if you look at, this is the statistics that it is done by NASA. If you look at the people who are professional in engineering and scientists, these are the categories that it is, you're going to see it in NASA. For employment, guys, and even technician that are required, 24% of them are administrative and management. And these are the positions that it is going to be available to you guys. We have 9% of those technical and medical support, so anybody with this background also required. And then we also have 7% the clerical and administrative. And even technician are required here. It's not only like we need business, they need nursing, they need medical, biomedical, microbiologists, all of those are actually needed. And also clerical and technician. So if you look at those examples of NASA interest program of study, these are the study that is required. It's not only engineer. Even when I'm going to introduce our alumni, they will tell you what we needed when we actually set up a prototype for a company which is going to design the rover, the future rover to Mars. So these are the qualifications that is required. And if we look at the actual, if we want further, and those are the clubs and organization, although chemistry club is not there, but it is also. All of those are going to be required, guys. So NASA is need everybody, and it is the future. And there are also maybe confusion. They are thinking that NASA is all to do with the space. But believe me, since I know something maybe was not going to look good for as a reputation, but they started in World War II. They were the first to invent a lot of innovation, innovative new technology started in NASA. So that's why what I'm trying to say, it's the truth, it's a reality. It's not just we want to say, oh, that's what we want, or that's what they need. The other thing is, these are the business that it is, as I mentioned before, that it is going to be required. And if we go further, I want to show you, these are the people who are going to be there in the space. And those are needed. We even going to need somebody who is going to be the surveyor. They wanted to go out there, explore in the space. It could be in Mars or the moon. And I don't know whether you had this very, very potential opportunity or open to the undergrad, and particularly people or students who are in the minority, underrepresented institution. They are really required. They are the people who are really brought the all attention by NASA, because the first rover, the first Mars rover who's now there in Mars, is actually designed by community college students. So this is the reality. It is really exciting and it has a lot of opportunity, and those are the people that they are required. We are going to need those technology and technician as well. We need engineers, like the technicians that is going to be required for the stations, for every single part of the buildup of the future. Now, a couple days ago, like it might be super, like, you know, whatever we used to think about it, like, you know, the things that it's never occurred to you, now it's becoming a reality. Now, in the Good Morning America on Tuesday, they actually just came with this information and released the information about NASA going to start the tourist to the space. And it is starting. So we don't know what's going to happen. Maybe after 2-3 decades, when we are going to be gone, my age, maybe you're going to be there, right? I mean, you are the future, guys. So never ever think this is impossible. There is no impossible. There is no way like that. So those are the qualifications that is required for NASA. And we are here to, we are actually the tool, I believe. We are the tool. We're going to open up this opportunity and open the door for you. And all what you have to do is to grab it and take it with all your heart and with all your mind. And all what I want you to think, there is no thing says impossible. There is no way that you may probably dreamed of, and definitely it will come true. And we have the example here. So I'm going to show you this, like our students, alumni, who started in 2019, and their testimonial. They will tell you and they will share with you their experience. And then we will talk about 2020 and the future of aerospace college.
I thought it was like kind of one of those programs where you had to have certain credentials to get in, but no, it's just like a special event that anyone could have joined, and I was really excited for it. I really was excited when I got the good news that I got in.
Oh my God, that was like, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it because it was NASA and I was part of it. Even if it was a little bit, I was part of it. So, and to be able to do it here, where I was going to school with professors that I know, that I'm so familiar with and comfortable talking to, it was amazing.
I was ecstatic. I called my entire family because I originally thought I would not get in. I just thought, you know, there's a million people probably putting in applications, and I just thought maybe I might be at the bottom of the pile. I cried. I kept telling everyone. I made a Facebook post. I texted all my friends. And I told all my professors who gave me recommendations. Immediately, I gave them thank you cards, and it was just the best experience ever.
I was excited, I was privileged, and I really prayed about this. I really thank God so much that I was accepted for this August program. It was everything. Like, I was so excited to be part of this family where we get to research about what NASA has.
Oh, I was very excited, you know, I've always studied for, since I was little, and it was always like, well, what am I studying for? But now there was like an objective in mind, and that was really cool. I was very excited for the opportunity.
We had ours here at ECC versus at a NASA facility, so that was very personal because we were able to see professors that we see on a daily basis. I saw 2 of my professors every day because they were involved with the program. We were able to just, on a smaller scale, have a great community of people, and it was awesome.
Well, at the beginning, the experience was a 5-week program online, which we actually had to do research, and actually do bits of homework and testing to show that we actually paid attention to all the marketing material. And at the end of the 5-week program, we had to actually write a paper, and based on our aggregated score, we were able to actually join into the second stage. That first stage alone actually really brought more interest into it because it was talking about things I didn't even know NASA was actually doing. It was all vastly interesting to me, and I deeply appreciated that personal experience.
You had to do a 5 weeks online course where you have to learn about NASA, how they do things, how the astronauts do everything out in space, the NASA missions from the beginning. We had to watch videos and research about what NASA is searching for in outer space. And then at the end of the 5-week online course, we had to write a paper.
read paragraphs, watch some videos, learn information about what NASA is currently doing in order to fulfill their current missions.
Different quizzes and tests online, and you had to do a final paper, which, you know, was very similar just to taking any normal class in school.
And the second part was the actual field work, whereby we had to actually engineer robots for competitions, and it was amazing.
Stage 2 was actually us being put into groups instead of us just doing it by ourselves, and try to actually figure out how to actually build a rover for Mars exploration and expeditions, research, and for emergency cases, rescue. It was hard at first, but it was extremely enjoyable.
We basically would simulate a Mars terrain and build our own Lego pieces, like built rovers to traverse through that terrain and kind of just like do rescue missions, pick up rocks and stuff.
The NCAS program came to Essex, and we participated in group missions. So we were separated into teams, and we were given different missions to build a rover, design it, program it, and the rover had to actually function, not just, you know, something drawn on paper. We had to put it together and send it out to do mock missions.
We had to pretend that we were a company and we were selling our product to NASA. So we were designing a rover. They were gonna go to potentially Mars and do missions and stuff. And we had to come up with the design, stay in budget because we had a budget. We had to do everything. We had to do, like it was an actual mission from NASA.
We had a robotics competition, and that was actually used with Lego LV3 kits, where we had to make a Mars rover prototype. It had to be able to fulfill certain requirements and missions, and one of those missions included maybe rescuing an astronaut. One of those missions included identifying minerals. So that was awesome because we had to work as a team to not only build a robot, we had to code it, we had to make sure it worked, to test it. So that was a great experience.
So hopefully this gave you some information, and those are our alumni. Can you please stand up so everybody see you? We have some of you guys here.
Yeah, just wait.
And I wanted to have good information. We had about 20 of them. We have 5 from another state. They actually joined us. They decided they wanted to come here to Essex. And then at the end of the program, they were able to submit their proposal, and hopefully we will get one of them, which is going to spend the rest of the summer for 2020 in one of the NASA centers. So hopefully we will announce our own winner of this internship. So this is basically what we are hopefully going to do the same thing for 2020, and we're going to run it until 2024. And this is our next challenge, which is, I don't want to say challenge, but this is the step now. We opened the recruitment, and the link is already opened yesterday. So everybody can start applying, but we are going to talk about the criteria, and my colleague, Professor LeBeau, she will be talking about the details that it's required. We need about 60 plus because some of them are not going to complete, and she will talk to you about the details. Thank you very much.
Okay, hello everybody. I'm Professor Lvov. I'm teaching physics here at Essex. I'm glad to see you all here today, and by coming here today, you made the first step towards a NASA internship. So I'll tell you now what other steps you have to take. So number one, we will provide you the link which Professor Marashi put on the flyer, but we're also going to email you the link. And this is a NASA link, not Essex. So you will have to complete an application. It's application process. You will need an unofficial transcript. You will need a letter of recommendation, which we will be happy to provide to you, or you can ask your professor. There is a brief essay. So there are certain things you will have to do. Even though it's a NASA program, you have me and Professor Marashi. We are in our offices when our doors are open anytime. You're welcome to come and ask for help with and assistance with the application process. So your job is to complete everything that is required. It's not that much, but you have to complete everything that is required. And the deadline is May 13th, but don't wait till later. Try to do it now to make sure that you have everything you need. There are two requirements to be accepted to the program. Number one, you have to be enrolled in Essex courses now in the spring of 2020. If you are graduating this semester, you still can apply and participate. So you can tell your friends who are interested that even if they're graduating, they still can participate in this year program. The application should be completed by May 13th online. Now, again, if you will need assistance on writing a paragraph about your interest or anything that you will do, if you need us to review your application, we will be more than happy to do this. And we encourage you to come and see us and search for help. So please do this. You can find both our offices in the blue area. We're part of the same division, biology, chemistry, and physics division, so you can anytime find us and ask.
And also any one of us, because the panel here, Dr. Kamani, you know her, she is the chair of the biology, chemistry, and physics. She was part of the recruitment process last 2019. She knows about these steps. She can always give you some information and help for anything, or any of the panelists. Yeah. We have judges and we have mentors who actually joined us for the previous pilot program, and anybody of us could help you in the biology. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, remember that you are not, even so it's a NASA program, you're not on your own, we're here to support you. Now, and what's the next step? Once you submit your application, you will receive a link from NASA that will invite you to start the online course. It's a very interesting program. It's a 6 weeks program where you learn about different NASA missions. You will learn how they deal with different issues on the on the International Space Station, how NASA planned to achieve their mission to the Moon and Mars. Since it's a selective program where NASA select the best students to participate in the program, there will be some quizzes which you have to complete. So it's a course, partially training, and at the end of this online course, you will be given three choices to choose for your final project. You may ask our alumni who are here about this final project. You will have support and an advisor through the whole course, so you will have someone to help and guide you in completing all these assignments and especially in completion of the final project. The whole thing is online, so you don't have to be physically in New Jersey. You can do it from any other place. You complete the course, and after completion of the course with 75%, that's NASA requirement. Trust me, it's not something super hard. There are not going to be any assignment that you cannot complete, but you have to be on top of it. So after you complete complete the course, you will receive invitation to participate in the on-site program. This is the fun part where you build a role, and when you compete with other students. It's going to be the dates of the program. It's going to be in August. Did we finalize the dates, or we're still? It's sometime the last 2 weeks of August. It's going to be just 1 week, Monday to Friday, Monday to Thursday, approximately from August 17 to August 22nd. but we will have to finalize
We will
this.
let you know about the, the actual date. But it's gonna be sometime in August, like middle August.
Right, so that you keep in mind your plans, your travel plans. Again, it's going to be here at Essex, so it's not going to be online. You have to be here basically every day of this program, and you really will enjoy it, as you could see from the video that we showed to you. You will really enjoy this program. There will be guest speakers from NASA and scientists who work for NASA, in addition to competitions, so that's a very, very interesting experience. Also, after that, you will have an opportunity to apply for the internship on one of the NASA sites, but let's not go that far, right? Because we can even dream further and see you all as future NASA scientists, which might happen, and I hope it will. But for now, just keep in mind there's several steps, and just do one step at a time. And as I said, and Professor Marashi said it before, find us if you have questions, and there will be our alumni who will help you as well. So that's probably all for now. Any questions? Any questions about the application process?
So these are maybe the most frequent asked questions.
Right. Yeah, so how will students indicate what campus they are from? The application asks for student, school, and will automatically sort the students into the proper roster. And so we had this issue last year that NASA historically for many decades provides scholarships and funding for U.S. citizens only, to U.S. citizens only. That's their policy for a long time. We students wrote petition last semester, and we kind of fought to allow permanent residents to be part of the program. And we were very lucky because they said yes, but again, they want to keep certain percentage, so that you know that they put this restriction on us that 75% must be U.S. citizens and 25% permanent residents. But for you, for now, you shouldn't worry about this. You just have to do your job. You have to complete the application and work towards your online course. Any questions before I'm...
Yeah.
Yes.
How many credits must you be taking this semester?
They did have restriction. Do they have it again?
This is the form.
No. Do they need to? How many credits they need to complete in STEM?
They need to have nine credits, the least 9 credits and plus.
STEM, but how many will they be taking this semester?
No. There's
Not
no.
necessarily, no.
In total, for the combined 9 credits.
Part-time student can apply.
Any student who is enrolled now. There is no restriction. But thank you for this question. Yes. I assume that most of you have fulfilled this requirement. You should have in total 9 credits of STEM. College credits. Yeah, thank you.
In STEM. So for instance, if you had 2 math and 1 science, you fulfill the credit. And you not necessarily be in the STEM program.
For those who don't know, STEM means science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So you should have, thank you for this time, that you should have 9 college credits of math or any science completed. And they check it because you are submitting your unofficial transcript. So we did have these situations when students were declined because they didn't have this requirement. These semester courses are included in this 9. So in total, 9 credits of any math, science, engineering classes.
Any other questions?
What's the GPA?
There's no
requirement.
It has to be 2.0.
Maybe the least 2 points.
There is no requirement.
Actually, they did not raise this criteria, so
Yeah. Okay.
maybe one of our alumni can stand up and
Yeah,
talk
can you
about
come
your-
over
please?
here,
Can you
right?
come over here. and talk about your experience with the registration, with the
Yeah, with
application.
application process.
Yeah. that'd be-
Do I need the mic?
No, it's up to you.
Go ahead.
Whatever you like.
Hello, I'm Alfredo. So yes, I actually took Professor Kawakibi's physics class, and he recommended that I participate in the program last year. So, you know, he gave me a letter of recommendation. You know, I applied, I met all the requirements. You know, at first it was a little tricky dealing with the website, but, you know, I continued with it. Dr. Marashi and Professor Laval helped every time I needed help. They made sure we got it done and got everything in on time. The transcript, you can get it right from the school website. It doesn't have to be an official transcript. You don't have to go to the office and, you know, have them mail it to you. You go right on the website. There's a way to, you know, copy and paste it and send it online. And that's pretty much it. You know, then once you get accepted, you know, the actual program really isn't too difficult. You know, the summer courses, Professor Laval and Dr. Marashi, they held, you know, webinars with us where they would go over the material. You know, it's to give you a history of, you know, NASA, future projects they're working on, what they have in mind for, you know, for the future. And, you know, it wasn't too difficult. And by the end of it, you know, the final paper is 7 to 10 pages. But if you stay with the work, you know, it wasn't too difficult. Like I said, Dr. Marashi and Professor Wall walked me through it. By the end, you only need 10 points out of the 40 potential points that the final paper is worth. So, you know, 7 to 10 pages, but at that point you're so close, like nothing can really hold you back. You know, you just gotta write 7 to 10 pages, and you only need 10 to 20 of those 40 points. So it shouldn't be too difficult, and then if you meet all those requirements, you'll be invited to the on-site, which, you know, was incredible. You know, you'll know a lot of the students from the school, and like they said, we had students from Chicago, Texas, Louisiana, from everywhere. And, you know, we all got together, we worked. They took us to New York to the Intrepid. We had a day over there, seeing all the stuff they had in the museum from NASA. And, you know, it was just a great experience.
Thank you very much. So also with us, Alicia. Right, she is now graduated from Essex, and now she's at Rutgers. She's doing computer science and mathematics, and she can talk about it. Please share your experience. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Marashi. How many of you are interested on the program? Fine. Okay, do you guys have any questions? Like I did it will be more your level. If you guys have any specific questions that you have, maybe? Yeah.
For programming the robots and stuff, do they teach you guys that from scratch?
That's one of computer science, so that was my major monster there, but it's not that complicated. It's really not. The courses that you do before, it's basically, like he said, the history about NASA, all their trips, and learning how, you know, what they have to do to survive over there. The project paper, it's like an idea for you, or like a proposal, where you tell them what would be a better, at least that's the one it was for us, what would be a better chance for them to stay longer, to go to longer trips and stuff like that. When he came to the programming of the rover, we had links where they post old videos with beginners, with more advanced, how to program it, how to do little things here and there, and you could see step by step. You could pause the video, you could do, they start from really minimal to more advanced stuff, and you could do it yourself and see. You could download the software on your computer because it's a free, you can even download it on your phone. It's a free platform. So you could try a couple of things, and then when you come here to work on your rover, you already have an idea on how it works at least. And then from there, you're not alone. You have the professors here, you have a mentor with you, and you have other group of students with you. So you all do it together, and from there you work on it.
And do you only use Legos?
It's a EV3. It's a big block. They come, all the pieces are in there. Everything that you need is in there. Whatever, if you want to bring something else, they gave us a chance that we could 3D print a part that they don't build already, and you could have bonus because of doing that, but it's not hard. It's good.
So I learned that you programmed the robots right yourself. So do you learn the code, or do you have to like actually code it yourself? Do you understand my question?
Yeah, you don't have to hard code it. Like you have to just understand it, how it works. You don't have to have your brackets and your switch statement and all of this more complicated code. It's more like a user-friendly, where you have like symbols and each symbol already has the code behind it. So you put another block together and together it makes the robot moves or anything like that.
Another question. Do NASA send you those codes, or you have to like import them yourself, like implement them yourself?
When you're already part of the program, they post on you have a profile as a student. So they post the links there where you could see, I believe it was like 10 videos for us. But if you Google the same video, you could see YouTube or other places, you could see more videos where other people doing it in other schools, and they post also. You could see the pictures and what they put together. And
are all the teams selected at random, like made at random, or are there like different majors in like every team?
For us, what they did, they made sure that it was at least, it was pretty random. Like I was the only computer science on my team, but I had a mathematics major, I had engineering major, I have bio pre-med major. You know, it was pretty diverse, yeah. But the professors and they do a pretty good job mixing everything. But we were here in this room, so we were all here, so you could go and ask if you have any other questions. Like I was bugging Professor Lavoe a lot.
What is the role of a biology student in that group?
Well, actually, I have a biology. Come over here, you could talk more about what you brought to the table.
Because
yeah.
manager.
She was a project manager.
Okay.
So she brought her own.
Can you tell us?
And that was your
Okay, hi. My team won, first of all. My name is Mary. Okay. Same grade. Yay. Anyways, okay, so basically I was the project manager, and what I had to do, so when it's time for the main project, you actually have to like purchase things. It's like for real, no play. Like anything you need to build, if you don't have that, you have to go to the company. There was actually a company site. You have to go there and purchase things for like $6 million. Sorry. Yeah, like 600 million. I mean, of course it wasn't real money, but you know. So that was actually my job, to like manage like things and depending on how you behave and the things you buy, you get like more money to your company. And they give us like a budget of, I think everything in total was like $600 million. And you had to build the rover that works very well, and the rover that can like detect rocks in Mars. So your rover technically like needed a lot of things, but you had a budget of $600 million. So my job was to like manage, like she was the one doing like the programming and coding. The person who built our rover isn't here today, and we all helped, but I was like basically in charge of it, like, okay, don't spend too much. I'm going to go to the company to purchase this. Basically, you know, manager's job. Yeah, that's what I did. And I would like to add that there was food. Oh, the food was good, believe me. Okay, they fed us breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It was good food. It was good food. So drawing, okay. Yeah, we also had a trip. We went to New York. Like everything was like it was really, really good. Like, I mean, you guys might be thinking that, oh, it's NASA. It seems like a lot to do. Like, can I do this? It's amazing. I'm very sure I was the last person to apply to this thing. Dr. Marashi wrote my recommendation letter because she called me almost 12 o'clock in the night. She was like, have you done your application? I'm like, oh my God, where did she get my number from? I'm like, okay, now I have no choice. Then I did it. So, but I'm really glad. You guys should do it. It's not as hard as it seems. It's great. My resume is popping now. It's like I just write the NASA and everybody's like, and I'm like, yeah. So, so yeah, that's it. Oh yeah.
So I'm not in the division of biology and whatever major. Do you have to be in that major? My major is new media technology, and that's why I was asking the question about coding, because that's my field.
Yeah, you don't have to be like in the biology major. Yeah, you just have to take the 9 credits that she talked about, and it's fun. Believe me, yeah.
We want every single program to be involved, because that's what they are saying, your peers. You are going to mimic a company that should have every single qualification to put a prototype for the future rover and submit it, to NASA, technically. So that's what it is. And and there are criteria for the winner, because it's not only that there will be workshop, in other words, like competition for the rover. There are also presentation for the whatever they put together as a company, and how they are going to. We need also public relations and advertising about their own product and then program, and how they are going to attract publics to their own. So how they are going to win. For us to have the scoring, we have to have the highest score for all these criteria, and then we will be able to select the winner. And our judges here and mentor, Professor Kawaki and Yasser, I'm sure some of you know them, they could talk to you because they were involved in mentoring and then judging and involved in the final scoring for the winner of us. But to be honest, to us and to everybody, every single team is a winner. Because at the end of the day, you're going to have the certificate. At the end of the day, every single one of you will be able to apply for any job at NASA, and you will be considered as an alumni. So don't ever think it's this one and that's it and I'm done. To be honest, it's the threshold to the huge and important and very, very open opportunity of futures ahead of you. That's just the beginning. That's the first step that you are going to put into your future. And all what we are doing here and everybody here, we are trying to be like your tool, a tool that we are going to provide for you. And we'll be so more than happy, because I'm so proud of us all together as a team that we are actually recognized now as the first to start this project. Nationwide, and particularly in New Jersey, we are the only community college who started this program, and we are going to continue for another 4 years to come. Thank you very much.
And so my experience when I visited Ames Center, and this is where the biology comes in. They have a plant where they have to try and grow different plants to see how would this one survive if we ever send it to the moon. This is where the biology comes in. You also look at bacteria. They are growing, they have yeast. They just came up with a form of yeast and they want to try to experiment. How will it behave if we took it over here and come back? So that's how the science, the biology part connects.
I just want to make a comment. As a judge and as a professor of biology, this was a great experience to each and every one of who participated. And the trial and error that we see the groups, how they started, and there's a lot of trial and errors. You did a dry run, the first dry run they did, they had a lot of enhancement. There's a lot of collaboration team from everybody. We mentioned about each group, they have the project manager, they have multiple individuals that they participating. It does build up a lot of collaboration. This is more of an industry. Along with NASA, you're trying to mimic industry standard, real world example, how everybody collaborate and work together. So I highly recommend that each and every one of you to think about this as a project, to think of it as an opportunity, because what you're doing is you're doing a hands-on experience. I know you're looking for a specific paper or certificate, but having a hands-on experience doing the dry run will be highly efficient for your long-term career. It will be good for you to put this on your resume. So I highly recommend that each and every one of you to think about it. There is no complexity to it. You have a dry run. The dry run, that means everybody, including the mentors, they're helping you out to holding hands, trying to walk you through it. You do a walkthrough. A lot of walkthrough is being really implemented in this type of program. So I highly recommend each and every one of you to participate. This is a good initiative from everybody that all of us were trying to help you and make you really get to that exposure for the future. So, and will also look good in your application. Best of luck to all of you.
Thank you very much.
I just want to clarify a few things that were mentioned. They were mentioned some points, and I saw some of you like, what he's talking about. When you do online course, you will learn this, but when you do your online course, after every topic, let's say mission to the moon or how the spaceship worked, you will have like 10 question quiz, and every quiz, there will be 6 quizzes. For every quiz you can get 10 points, so that's 60 points. And then 40 points is your final project. That's what he mentioned, that you need only like 10 to get 70, so 75. So that's what the idea. But don't worry about it now. You will, it will be all become clear once you start the course. Another thing, there was a mention about some $600 million. You probably understand that nobody's going to get a check for this amount. Basically, the idea is also to train. NASA wants to train you not only to build a rover where you have to be creative, but also to learn how to sell it, how to promote it. So you basically create a company. You'll have to create a logo and other things. So that's why you have a budget manager. So it's more than just building a rover. It's, as Professor Marashi mentioned, like mimic a company. So that's why they have different jobs. Each, like it's like 10 people in the team, and every single person have his or her own job. So if you're an engineer, if you like to build it, you will build a rover, or several students will design a rover. Then there are engineers who test the rover. It's a completely different job to test it, to create the environment similar to the competition field and test it. So everybody have different assignments in the team. Okay. Any other questions?
Now, the form that we distributed, it has a link, and I want to show you the link. It is actually this one. You can always copy and paste it on your computer, and it should show you some of the information. It's actually going to give you all the information that it is required of you. Just scroll it. You see here, apply now. So you can apply. What I want you to do, please, everybody who got this form, after you finish application, can you bring it back to us, either to me or Dr. Kamangi or any one of us, like Professor DeVoe, because we want to have a record of our applicants. On top of that, NASA will actually go through the profile for every single one of you, and will give us the final list. But we want to have your information, your address. Please, when you write it clearly, so we will have your phone. That's when I was calling students the night before the deadline. And then I want to make sure that they applied before it is closed. Because as you can see, May 13, the link will be closed and you no longer will be able to apply. So please, and also we are planning to have another meeting in March. And also we were thinking of taking groups into our computer lab, and then we will help you when you are going to go through the registration. But please, in between now and then, if you have any question, you can reach out to anybody in our division. We will be more than happy to help you with that. I do really appreciate everybody's coming, as my colleagues are mentioning. This is a very unique opportunity, and hopefully we will have more than 60 plus applies, because through the process we've seen some of the applicants who went through the online, they could not finish, or even after they finished the online, they did not come to the on-site. That's why we need at least 40, because we are going to have 14. Each team should have 10 members unfortunately, because last year we had like, you know, some ups and downs. The first time, like, you know, so people finished, like students finished the online, which is to me is the hardest. This is the most challenging. But then they had to move on into their life. They moved to another state. They could not come on in fall 2019. That's why this year we decided, the NASA team here, we are going to run the on-site during the summer. So that's the difference. So then after that, you're free to go wherever you want. Like, yes, because most of our, like, you know, alumni now, most of them, they graduated and they're gone. But they are coming back because they are our, you know, they are the alumni now. But anyway, and also you're gonna have a opportunity of hiring them. So because we are going to need mentors and we are going to hire our own rather than getting people from outside. And that's what we did with the pilot because that was the first time. So anyway, this year, hopefully we will run it through everything through summer. So after that, when you're done, you will be able to transfer even outside of the state. There was a question.
Yes, it seems like there's going to be a lot of work and studying and time.
It's online course and it is rigorous and we're going to be with you and this is an exploration, as they were saying.
If you're taking maybe 1 or 2 classes in the summer.
It should be fine because we had students who had more than,
Hi,
Yes.
I actually took Calc 1 during the summer at the same time that I was doing my NCAS online, and it's really all about time management. It's the same as if you were taking one class here and an online class during the semester. I mean, I would assume that as students, we would know how to be able to, you know, multitask with more than one class. So if you just come home and you do maybe 1 quiz a night, it's a 5-week program, so it's not hard. It's like you just have to figure out your schedule and just remember that you have a big paper due at the end. So the earlier you're done with your quizzes, the faster you can start with your paper. Because I'm not gonna lie, you don't wanna end up like me, and on the last night, you're like, oh my God, I have to get my paper in. But thank God for Dr. Marashi and Dr. LeBeau, I got my paper in and I was good, but definitely time management. But besides that, it's not really hard. The quizzes are easy, and we had a group chat. And you can retake them as much as you want. So until you get 100. And we had a group chat, so anytime anyone was like struggling with anything, we all just were like bouncing ideas off of each other, and it was easy. It was the simplest thing.
They only count your highest grade on the quiz, so you could take it over and over and over, and that won't affect your grading. So if you have 2 grades wrong, you could, and the questions, it's not like they're gonna change a lot. They do have a pool of questions where they pick from, but it's not gonna vary too much. And like you said, we did have the professors with us. Before we took the quizzes, they did their own online chat where they explained the material first. So they were like, okay, this is why, and for example, this is how they put pepper on their food, and why, and the reasons, and how to deal with gravity, and all of this stuff. They explained the material, and you could ask any questions, and they would explain it over again. So it's not hard. It's just it sounds like a lot, but once you break it down, it's not hard. It's doable.
The only thing you should remember about NASA, they're like in military, they're very strict about deadlines. So you have to, it's a very good training for you guys to be on top of things. So, and that's how they are. But again, what Alicia just mentioned about quizzes, it's a little easier than regular course because you can retake them several times, and they're really about general knowledge questions about the videos you see or the talk by some NASA specialists. And me and Professor Marash probably will have some kind of reviews. So in terms of the content, it's easier than most of the courses you take here. It's just, again, to be on top of the deadlines and just dedicate some time to watch the videos and basically writing your paper. That's what it is.
It's amazing. You gotta try it. That's all I have to say. You don't let it go by. especially if this is your last semester here, don't miss the chance. Because even just having it as a background, just going back to the memories and be able to talk to anybody else about it after, you're part of NASA. It's NASA. You get to meet them here. You get to know how a couple of them, you know, how they started, how they got higher in their positions, and we, at least I do it. I underestimate myself a lot, and I always thinking, no, I won't be able to do that. I might as well not try. Why waste the time? But once you see their stories, how they did it, you're like, oh my God, they just like me. They did it, or even worse than me, and they up there. So if they did it, I can do it too. Even NASA kind of stuff other when they try to do it. So come on, give yourself a try.
And let your friends and classmates know about the program. There are, again, plenty of spots for all of you to be part of it, so you're not really competing against each other. So make sure that your friends and classmates know about this opportunity.
Definitely, the most people you have in your group, the better. I know Professor said 10. We were aiming for 10.
I know.
We only have 5.
Yeah.
I think it was 6. So we have to share different positions, and like we were all over doing the engineering of the thing, the coding, the budget management, everywhere. But we did it.
Please try to apply, and if you have any issue with application, come back to us. The link that I put for you guys in that form, after you finish application, bring it back to us. Hand it in to Dr. Kamangi, anybody of us here. We just want to have a record of how many of us actually from us applied. But other than that, everything will be, NASA will be with you, will be with us through the whole entire process. Okay? Thank you very much for coming. Thank you.